video intended for educational purposes. Hey guys, it's Adam aka Swimbird, and welcome back for another Minecraft 1.8 snapshot. This is 14W6A and 6B, and we've got a lot of awesome new features to show off this week, including improvements to mob AI and barrier blocks, a stealthy new way to use potion effects, giants wearing armor, and items that you cannot pick up and they won't despawn. Perfect for little displays. But before we get into all that, tons of stuff to talk about. You might have noticed in the background, if you're paying attention, these weird little blocks. So there's a little nub on this TNT, there's little nubs on these command blocks, everything, all these blocks have weird little nubs on them. What is going on? Well, Mojang has not been purchased by LEGO, yet, at least, and this is actually just a secret little feature slipped into the snapshot by the developers, the ability to change the block model in a resource pack. So this little edit was made by Mr.Cheeze on Reddit. He's the one who made the moving ship. And it's just a little ability that has a lot of potential to it. So you can change and edit the block model to do different things with the shape. So they have these weird little protrusions coming off of them. But this is super promising because if we were allowed to edit models as simply as switching out a resource pack, who knows, we could have villagers with their arms actually uncrossed, like tons of different stuff with mobs and blocks. So there are a lot of things that could potentially be awesome about this. Now, the developers have said they're a little apprehensive about how far they should go with this. They know that Minecraft is a game of blocks, so they don't know how far they want to take this or if they want to include this necessarily, but I hope they do because this is something really cool, being able to just click a button, switch out your pack, and you have this whole new look to the game. They're also trying to work towards other customization options, like the ability to change the color of biomes and different things and sheep colors and stuff like that without having to use MC Patcher or Optifine to put in different textures and gradients and stuff like that. So all this is very promising, and they are definitely working towards little features like this to make the game a lot more customizable and hopefully work towards the mod API that has been promised for so long. Now let's move on here. So mobs, if you've been following snapshots for a while, you know that back in 1.2, back when I first started doing snapshots, that was a couple years ago, we got a big AI update to mobs. And that had skeletons, zombies, and creepers all kind of had a bit of a boost. Farm animals have been updated, I believe, so they will pathfind pretty well. But we've got a few little adjustments now, including slimes. Now, these slimes are still not great at pathfinding. This guy's probably going to jump right off. There he goes. But one big boost to having a lot of older mobs have the new AI system is that slimes and magma cubes can now swim, so they won't just sink to the bottom and make horrible sloshing noises. Magma cubes can actually swim in lava, as these guys show off. I trapped them in there with barriers. They're just having fun hopping around. There's lots of cool little changes. I noticed a few improvements and stuff like cave spiders and different things, being able to pathfind a bit better. And I was playing around in wolves. You know that they attack sheep, but they seem to go aggressive almost immediately now, and they will suicide to try to get a sheep. Pretty crazy. But anyways, they're slowly updating. The other big one that got an update is the Pigmen have finally good pathfinding now. So look at him, he's walking through. Thank you for showing that. They just phased right through each other. But yeah, it's all just kind of working together to make the mobs all update and be more, you know, aggressive or actually not as stupid. So moving on here, the barrier block. I mentioned that. So here it is. This is the barrier block, and in previous updates here at Snapshots, we could not see the barrier block, which made it really hard to build with this. It is a creative-only invisible block if you haven't seen it yet. But one of the things I actually suggested, I'm sure a ton of other people suggested this as well, but when you're in creative mode and you hold a barrier block, they actually all pop in for you to see. The original update was going to have you just see them in creative, but that would have looked horrible with barrier blocks all over if people use them a lot. So this will be much better for filming and immersion. So this is really nice. We got these little transparent particles with the no sign in the middle. So I like that. And also, because of that, we have a new particle, the barrier particle. So you can just pop these everywhere. I could see this really good for if you have an off-limits area on a server or something, like somebody walks in there and they get all these things right in their face telling them, go back, don't go in there. So anyways, let's move on here. Much improved on the barrier block. There is a new achievement that is pretty important in the game here that has been an item in the game for a while. Now, the notch apple, as it's called officially now, if you craft one of these with the golden blocks, doesn't have to be nub ones. That's just an aesthetic change, just reminding. They don't actually change the way the block model works for now. But anyways, I crafted a notch apple, you saw. I built a notch apple, we got the achievement overpowered. So to get this, you have to at least build something over a wooden pickaxe, but it's a nice little achievement there for people who care about that type of stuff. Now over here, I'm going to talk with my buddy in a second, but I want to show some other things. Like I did mention these items floating and pushing effects and stuff. Let's go into that real quick before we go meet with my friend. So let's go into adventure mode. I gotta be careful here. So it is very dangerous out here. We need buttons. Adventure mode, you know, is getting a big overhaul in 1.8. Hopefully these slimes don't come after me. And in the tools that you use, so if you watch previous snapshots, you know that if you wanted to mine a block in adventure mode or do anything in adventure mode now, you need a tool that actually has a data tag that tells you you can break it, and you can customize those. Well, I have these buttons here that are customized with the new can place data tag, which makes it so that I can place them on stone, brick, and log. If I try to place them on lapis, planks, anything else, it won't work, but it works on this polished granite since that's the stone variant. It works on all these. I can put these buttons all over here. I can't put it on the acacia log because the new logs don't count as logs for some reason. But anyways, so I have all these buttons. I can open this, and if you wanted to hide this little data tag, you can now use the new hide flags. 16 is to hide the ones for these buttons, so I just got some more buttons here, and look, they don't say what they do, but they work the exact same way. And this is a good way for map makers to kind of hide and make puzzles, so you have to figure out what you can place stuff on. But it can also make it a lot easier, so you know where you can place things. Much more customization for adventure maps. Now over here, this might be one of my favorite ones in this updates here. I've got something going on over there that you'll see in a second that's pretty crazy. I've made some class systems, and if you got a potion effect normally, like this is a little strength effect, but I got these annoying stink marks flying around me, and I can't see very well with those going all over. But now if you add true after your potion effect, it will actually use the new invisible particles. They're not just hidden and like faint, they're actually completely gone. So you can have potion effects without needing the particles to float around you, which is very cool. And these items over here, I mentioned these, we have the new PickupDelay and age tags. So if you want to spawn in an item that you can summon an item, and I'll summon one right here. This is a bow, and you cannot pick it up, you cannot, it won't disappear, it'll be there forever. So you could use this to display your items. I have a little wet chute to get rid of it down to the void. Be careful with those. But yeah, the items can now be displayed in vanilla mode without need of a plugin. Like if you've been on servers like MineZ and stuff like that, you've probably noticed the items floating around for display, but this is just a nice way to do this in vanilla, which is pretty cool. Let's go over here past this little studded mushroom that's beautiful. I'm going to talk to my buddy here in a sec. We should kill this magma cube, get him out of here. So, Scoreboards actually got a big overhaul. Those anger particles I will go into in a sec. I'm just getting rid of all these guys. So there's a few new scoreboard things. So this is my buddy. He is on the blue barracudas. I'm on the red jaguars. We're on different teams. And that is the score for how many chickens we've killed. I've killed 3. He's killed 7. That's all standard scoreboard stuff. But if I was to go over here, you can actually reset stuff individually now. So in the past, when you reset a score, it would clear everything. Now I can just clear my individual score for that event. So my chickens are gone. There's also a new one. If you use a asterisk instead of a player's name or anything, you will clear all of that score. But even if someone's not online, it will still clear it. So it's a nice way to clear all that stuff out. A quick little thing with Spectator Mode that I also want to show here. When you're in Spectator Mode, it's very hard to know where all the players are. So they added a little button you can assign, and if you hold it down, it actually outlines a player. And if my buddy here will walk over and change his team, then we can show it again, and he'll be outlined in the team color that he has. So now he's on the purple parrot, so he has a purple outline there. So let's have him go back to blue. But yeah, it's just a nice little update that will make it a little easier to find people. And also, it's kind of strange, it takes the shading off some mobs. Like, you can see this villager, he like loses his light shading and stuff. Let me kill this guy real quick for my friend so he doesn't die. But yeah, it's just another little update to Spectator Mode. So, one of the coolest things in this this new update here, we got in Scoreboard features, we got 2 new objectives that will help with a lot of PvP stuff. We have Team Kill, so you can keep track of how many you've killed on a certain team. So if I was to, let me show this on the side here, I'll pop it onto the sidebar. This is blue kills, and if I kill my buddy, it should rack up another one. It's a little glitchy right now, but it keeps track of how many you've killed from a certain team. And then there's also this other one here, killed by team. So if I had this set on the side, you will see I've killed him 9 times testing this out. If I kill him again, he's been killed by the red team one more time. So just little things that will help you have more, customizable PvP matches. If you want to get rid of that on the side, just click that. Now, another little thing here, I've got this shovel, and I'm going to go back into survival because I want to show off. We can now use, instead of IDs, we actually want to use text to do some of this stuff. And we've gotten, in this update, we've gotten so many new stats, like mining blocks. We can activate a lot of things, and I'm going to use them over there to pretty good effect when I show you my player classes, like my Ninja and Berserker. But this is going to show that we have dug a certain amount of dirt, so it keeps track of how many dirt blocks we've dug. And it's just cool because now you actually get to see them a lot more logically. You don't have to use little IDs for blocks and stuff. We're moving towards that, and you can do that specifically. So that'll make the scoreboards work a bit better. Over here, I wanted to show off a few things. Now, there's also another new command called /trigger. And this one, it's a little abstract, but I'll explain it as simply and quickly as I can. So we've had this in the past. This is tell raw. This makes it so you can put a little thing in the chat that you could click if you do a command like this. So I'm going to click this, and then I have this ability, super jump. When I click it, I get a jump boost. And I also have this one over here that will, it's called Let There Be Light. It's a magical light spell. I click it, it becomes day. That sort of thing. Well, in the past, only ops could use these abilities. But with the new trigger command, you can actually set these up. So I could set this up with like something called like magic points or something like that. So when that trigger is activated, say I earn a magic point every time I kill a zombie. Every time I kill a zombie, it will activate and it will let me click this again. So they're still working on this type of thing, but I think it'll be nice for people who want to have like RPG classes and do cool little stuff like that. You could earn the ability to change it to daytime or something, little rewards on servers, stuff like that. I was messing around with this, and I made some crazy little classes over here. You'll notice these. So I made two of them. This is my ninja. I'm going to grab this here, grab some food so I can show you this off. This is probably one of my this is my favorite thing I messed with this week. I'm also gonna, I'll leave that there. So we have our sword. I'm gonna go into survival real quick once I show off this. Now, I have two ninja abilities here and one berserker ability. The first is my NinjaLeap. If I light a fire, I get to jump and it makes a little poof effect. So I'm combining potion effects and the scoreboard customization. I'll show you how to do this in a second, and I'll put the commands in the description in case you want to do this yourself. But then I also have this one. This is my favorite. I teased this at the beginning. I'm going to place a log, and then I need a blank spot here. I'm going to place a log and then run. And there's a little poof and a sound, and we get a nice little ninja escape effect. For some reason, that's just been in stuff since really old time. Like, I don't know what the original legend that happened where a ninja substituted himself for a log, but it's just been in like shows and movies and stuff for a long time. It's just kind of cool. I'm on the red team, so I can see myself invisible outlined there. That's why I have that weird little ghostness. And then the Berserker effect, if I have a mob here and kill it, I can show you this. It's every time I kill a mob, I get these anger puffs, and it tells me I have a couple more seconds of strength and resistance, so I need to keep chaining stuff together. This is just cool things that I was messing around with, how to make different like RPG classes using particle effects and stuff. But the idea is that you're using the scoreboard, and you set like NinjaLeap. You need to have clicked the flint and steel to have it activate, and then it activates that effect. So by having all this customization of scoreboard stuff like digging dirt, placing a log, all those things that we couldn't do as much in the past, it'll now allow us to do things other than just simple normal scoreboard stuff to activate some of these. So that's pretty cool. I am very impressed with the way a lot of this stuff is going. So a couple other things here. So we're getting a few bug fixes this week. Nothing too major, just the barrier blocks now have a different particle when they break. It's this weird like redstone blood looking thing. That could be used for some cool effects, I could see. And there were some issues with invisible slimes in the last snapshot. Here's a little clip of them turning into creeper heads and little compact zombies and stuff like that. Weird little texture issues. Before we go though, there was some cool stuff in the past Snapshot 2 that allowed us to put armor on any mob, including giant slimes. Look at this towering Hulk. It's an invisible giant slime, but it has armor on. I've got it on this bat, and the little bat is flying around. It looks like a tiny action figure. And squid were hilarious because you put on a squid, then they look like they're just like someone who fell on the ground, and I buried him in a grave there. So that kind of stuff. The good thing, they took out some of those, unfortunately, but the good thing is they did leave giants in, and I can spawn a couple giants here wearing armor. You can actually customize giants to make them a bit stronger now. I really wish they would just put these guys in the game proper. They've been in here for so long, and you can summon them in now. They need to give them a new texture, you know, make them an actual mob, like a boss or something, or have them a rare spawn. That would be so cool. This one is riding a skeletal horse. I'll put these in the description as well if you want to mess around with this stuff. But yeah, a lot of promising work towards the mod API this week, and different little features. Not as much for survival players, unfortunately. There is this weird thing where when I fly down, I make my hand go out. So I'll wave to you guys. I'll wave to this villager. Hello, villager. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Lots of cool stuff to mess around with this week, and I'd love to see where some of this stuff, like the different block models and things, go in the future. But thank you once again. Please leave a like if you enjoyed this. I will, of course, see you next time for more Minecraft Snapshot news. Goodbye.